Hello, welcome to another super taste test. Today we're going to be testing some mustards, yellow English mustards, as opposed to the cooler mustards. These are all quite hot. This is my super taster, Amanda, who's going to be giving her opinions on which mustards are the best and which ones you should maybe avoid. And can you tell me why we're not including the famous French's mustard? Because that's a yellow mustard. Surely we should have...
It is yellow, but it's not really English mustard. It's not strong enough. It just tastes of sugar and vinegar. So I think we wanted to try ones which were examples of English mustard, the sort of things someone might have at a roast dinner or any kind of meal where you want that kind of hot mustardy taste. But I think that's so far removed from what we want. Also, we are just choosing ones which are available in the UK at the moment.
And the story of this test is that we're quite fans of this Coleman's mustard. We have it quite often with our savoury meals. We don't have it with pudding quite yet. And I was trying some of the Sainsbury's English mustard the other day at my mum's, and I thought this tastes very similar to the Coleman's, and I wonder if I could actually tell the difference. Or maybe it's actually the same stuff, possibly. So we decided to get a whole range, 2 different Sainsbury's ones. We happened to be in Sainsbury's that day. No product placement here. This is the cheapest. We've got the more expensive brand. Colman's is more expensive again. And we went to our local department store to get a quite expensive one called Devil's Revenge from the Guild, which is made by Hyder Foods. So I think we're going to start on the cheapest one. This one here is actually 25 pence per 100 grams. This one, the Sainsbury's more expensive one, is 45 pence per 100 grams. This is 65 pence per 100 grams. This is a whopping £1.91 per 100 grams. But it's probably made in smaller quantities, and maybe the money goes to better places than these big, enormous corporations.
And maybe you need less as well because it's stronger.
Possibly, yeah. Let's find out. And we're going to be testing it on some Cornish wafer biscuits, which we quite like, and they're fairly neutral, so it seems a good thing to test them on. So let's go.
So we decided to do them. We read the ingredients, and we're starting with the one with the least mustard flour, which is the basics one. It's got 18% mustard flour in it. It's also got sugar, vinegar, water, turmeric, and various other sort of onion, garlic powdery type things. So this is one we're going to start with. I'll just open it. So it looks like quite liquidy.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, it's got quite a smell to it, I guess.
It's got a kind of mustardy smell, but also quite a vinegary smell. But it is really, I'm not going to tip it upside down because that'd be a bad idea, but it is really gloopy.
Do you think a lot of the colour comes from the turmeric?
I suspect.
And not from the mustard?
Yeah, so that's the kind of consistency. It's okay.
It seems similar to Coleman's. It stays on the spatula.
Yeah, it stays on the spatula just, but it is running around quite a lot on there. So it is likely that this colouring is turmeric. I use turmeric quite a lot, and it is this bright kind of yellow colour.
You're being quite brave, taking a big lump there.
Yeah, so I'll put some on one for you as well.
Oh, okay.
A bit less.
Right, let's try the Sainsbury's, what's the brand? Sainsbury's Basics English Mustard. I think that's quite nice.
So it's very mild.
It's almost in the territory of the French's mustard that you were so disparaging of
it's
earlier.
Like the little sachets you get in cafes where you can just eat it straight out of the sachet. So you can taste, it's quite, and try a bit more because I ate that really quickly. You can taste quite a lot of sugar. It's quite sweet and it's quite vinegary, but there is a little bit of mustard. And if you don't like things too hot, I think this is probably quite a good one because my eyes aren't watering. I'm eating it, quite a lot of it. It's got a bit of umami kind of taste to it, so it's a bit moreish. You kind of think, oh yeah, that'd be nice to put a bit more on that. But it doesn't have that real hit to it. So although it's pleasant, for me it lacks the real mustardy hit.
So that would be a good burger or hot dog mustard, but maybe not great as a flavouring in a cooking, possibly.
I don't think you'd get much flavour from that.
No. Okay, well let's
kind of sugary, salty flavour.
On.
It's not unpleasant, but it's just, I think, with a hot dog or something, it's going to give you a flavour, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's much hotter than something like brown sauce or something. It's just a reasonably hot, not reasonably hot. So this one smells a lot less sweet.
And can you tell from the ingredients if it's got less sugar in?
This one I think has less sugar in because I looked at per 100 grams. The Basics one has 15.8 grams and this one has 13.5 grams.
The more expensive one is a bit healthier.
Yeah, the cheaper one has mustard as sugar as the second ingredient, and this one has it as third ingredient. So,
right, let's try.
It's not got a majorly strong smell.
Straight away, that's got a heat, which the other one didn't have.
Yeah, that's hotter. That's definitely got a heat right on the front of the tongue.
I do find after the heat, it goes straight into that kind of vinegary, salty kind of taste a bit.
A lot. You could eat again quite a lot of this, or I could.
Maybe we shouldn't buy that one then.
But yeah, there's definitely hot, and you could make your eyes watered if you ate enough of that, and you can feel it in your nose as well. It's less sweet, less vinegary, more mustardy, so that's quite a nice one. And now we have the Coleman's, which is actually open, so I don't know if it. I always think it loses heat when it's opened. But we couldn't wait because we'd run out of mustard, so we had to open this one. This one has, again, it's actually slightly low. It's 21% of mustard flour.
So the Sainsbury's has got more mustard flour.
1% more mustard flour.
Oh, right. But less sugar. Is that right?
Yeah, so this one has 13 grams of sugar. And this one has, per 100 grams, 13.5. So they're quite close.
They do seem very similar. So let's see.
This one is solid.
Oh, yeah. That's
really
a big difference.
Nice. And we have actually been to the place they make this in Norwich as well. I'm not going to put so much because I know this one can be quite hot.
Yeah.
It's the sort of big, famous English brand of mustard, I guess.
That one, when it first goes in my mouth, it seems like there's no heat at all, and then a few seconds later it goes wham.
Yeah, it lulls you into a false sense of security.
It actually tastes quite sweet, and then suddenly the heat comes, but it doesn't seem to have the same vinegariness. I think
no,
it doesn't leave you with a vinegary taste.
I'm just going to go back to this one because I think I like the Coleman's better,
and the heat lasts longer with the Coleman's.
And the heat lasts longer, whereas this one is more, maybe a bit more vinegar in it. Definitely more vinegary. So if you like vinegar, I don't like vinegar, but if you like that sort of vinegary taste, you may really like this one because it does just have a slightly more vinegary taste.
In fact, there isn't any vinegar in this. It's got citric acid for its acidity, but yeah, no vinegar at all. And the xanthan gum is probably what's making it feel a bit more solid as well and not less gloopy.
But that one, yeah, you definitely start getting heat off of that one after a little while.
One thing to note in all these different pots, the Coleman's one has this plastic lid which is not really very recyclable at all. It's a hard plastic which most places won't recycle. All the other ones have metal lids and glass containers, which is good, I think, in an environmental point of view.
So this one we're just going to remove the...
This is the Devil's Revenge mustard.
The Devil's Revenge. This one actually also has chilli in it.
Yeah.
So we suspect this one might be quite hot. It's got mustard flour, white wine vinegar, water, chilli powder and turmeric. So no sugar. It looks, even in the jar, really solid. So it's almost like cracking. Wow. And I wouldn't even know that was mustard necessarily. It's got quite a... Well, I probably wouldn't know it's mustard, but... It smells almost like the Dijon type mustard or the French mustards, like the ones with the grains in them.
Oh yeah, it doesn't smell hot to me.
Very, very, like you could just put a teaspoon in there because it doesn't smell, it's going to be hot. Whereas this one, smelling that's going to be hot. Yeah. This one is not that hot. So I'm going to be cautious because it does say it's got chilli and such like in it, so I'm a bit wary that, and it's very solid and almost grainy looking at it. I'll give you a teeny bit on there.
Okay.
That's just a very different taste, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
That's not as hot as I expected it to be.
No.
I thought it was going to be really like eye-watering, but it's actually, it might be now if I put loads on.
I think the chili in it is giving it a long heat, though.
Mm.
I've had a bigger bit now, and it feels like that heat's going to stay in my mouth like a chili heat, whereas the mustard tends to have more of a kind of wasabi hit, which is very strong and then goes away.
So this always has a full mouth hit. It hits like the Colemans and the Sainsbury's hit the front of the mouth and the side of the mouth. Whereas this is hitting the back of my mouth as well. And it is a long hit, and then you feel it in your throat, and it's like, okay, that is actually quite hot. But you don't notice it for a little while. It's not. There's no sweetness in it at all.
I must admit, I must admit I don't really like that one as much as the other ones.
I think it needs a bit of flavour enhancer, maybe monosodium glutamate.
Really?
Or just doesn't have that umami taste that the others do.
Yeah.
I don't think that's because there's not any sugar, so there's not that sort of salty sweetness going on, but it just tastes a bit like wasabi and a bit like chili. It's not, but there's not a lot else going on there.
And it's got a bit of that kind of Dijon mustard kind of, for want of a better word, kind of biological taste, kind of a seedy taste.
I mean, we'll use
mustards.
It up, but I think for the price, it's not that amazing.
It's that amazed. And it's not that vengeful, really, either.
Not really vengeful
as something called the Devil's Revenge.
I'm trying to imagine what you'd have this with and what it would go well with.
Traditional with ham, isn't it? Yellow mustard.
So actually with something salty and sweet, like honey roast ham, that would probably go really nicely.
Maybe it would, yeah.
It's quite Moorish on a Cornish wafer, but I don't think that's how it's designed to be eaten. So I would say after that, Coleman's is still my favourite. I would then go for the Sainsbury's, this one. I would then go for the Guild, and lastly I would go for this one. I got an idea. What we could do, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, try on some.
A dollop of this.
I'll mix them up.
Make a special mustard hybrid.
So that's the cheapest and the most expensive mixed up, is it?
Because you get the real heat from that and the sweetness from that.
So
that kind of works, is it?
Yeah.
Like if you couldn't find Coleman's, you could buy that and mix them together.
So we invented a fifth mustard. And on that note, thanks for watching and enjoy your mustards. If you've got any opinions on different mustards, put them in the comments below. Subscribe and like if you like it. And see you next time.
Bye bye.